Hello and welcome to Kelly Loves K-Pop. I'm Kelly. I do tarot readings on Korean celebrities, K-pop idols, actors, TV show hosts, whoever you're really interested in. Feel free to drop me a comment if you have a request. I have links in the description for my Ko-fi page if you'd like to pay for a reading. So today we're doing a reading on the Boyz, a friendship reading and a personalities reading, but I'm going to do the personalities reading first and then I will do the friendship reading. So it's between Kevin Moon and Jacob Bay of the Boyz. So I just did a big The Boyz reading on their potential issues and success and pitfalls with the Kingdom show. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Oops, moving all my stuff around. Today we're using the Wild Unknown Archetypes by Kim Krantz. You know, I've been speaking English for 38 years. You'd think I'd be better at it, but my brain and mouth just refuse to cooperate. So sometimes I use different cards. I have a Caroline Miss Archetypes deck that I use for personality readings a lot, but I'm trying to mix it up for you guys, so I'm using this one. And I find I get a little bit of a deeper reading when I do this, so sometimes it's a little bit more abstract, but it really lets my intuition go wild, and I do like that. Also, I always ask about astrology, and I kind of talk about astrology a lot. I'll ask for the Boyz zodiac signs, but today I've looked them up. So before we get started, I want to maybe talk a little bit about that. So I just have their sun signs, and a sun sign is like your essence, your energy, your self-awareness, your life force, how you express your creativity, your ego, your individuality. It's kind of like what you present for other people, like the side of you that you really like other people to see. And Kevin is a Pisces. Ooh, did I put Aquarius here? I got the wrong cards out in the first place. Let me grab my right cards here. Okay, here we go. That's better. I will just simply edit all that out for you guys. Okay, so now that I've got the right cards, Kevin is a Pisces, and Pisces is imaginative, compassionate, healing, empathetic, mystical, adoring, magical, allowing, dreamy, ephemeral, I can't say that word, enigmatic, spiritual, emotional, escapist, impractical, oceanic, self-pitying, and logical. They're the fish of the zodiac. They're known to be dreamers, daydreamers, really in touch with their emotional side. Obviously, your other planets in your chart can affect that, your moon sign, things like that. But this is just his sun sign, so he may come off as a deeper, more thoughtful, but also sensitive kind of person. And then we have Jacob as a Gemini sun, which is curious, communicative, versatile, flexible, variety-seeking, social, collaborative, brilliant, perceptive, connected, vocal, adaptive, street smart, mobile, studious, superficial, restless, and fidgety. So we have positive and negative in a lot of these cards. Gemini is known as like the great communicator. They're ruled by Mercury. So anyway, they're viewed as being like really outgoing people, party people, but a lot of times they're not. They're just interested in communication and learning things. Like they generally are constantly trying to learn. That's why they're also often called the twins, because you kind of see the side of them that's, you know, like I said, eager to learn and fish things out, and then the side of them that when you get that knowledge, what you do with it, and you kind of go back and you retain. So they can be both extroverted and introverted. That's the word I'm talking about. They kind of are both extrovert and introvert in the same person. So that's something just to keep in mind while we do the reading. So I'll go ahead and see if I can leave these cards out. I may kind of lay cards on top of them, we'll see. But I just wanted to start talking more about like astrological effects on personalities, or at least the sides of personality we view, since we're viewing their, you know, persona, their professional persona. So that may be why sometimes you see something more like that, and then you get a personality reading, you find out the personality is more, or is different, you know, is something that you don't see, because The sun sign is your outward persona, but we all have parts of ourselves that we don't share. So let's see how the personality reading goes, and then I'll do the friendship reading after. Just give it one more good shuffle. This is a new deck. I have used my friend's deck in the past just to see if I liked working with it, and I absolutely loved it. So we're going to work with this one. So Kevin, we'll do Kevin Moon first. Kevin. One more riffle. And then I will draw 6 cards and we'll go from there. Shuffling circle cards is difficult. That's why cards are usually square, because it makes them easier to work with. Okay, let's go. The creator. The starborn. The river. Anima Mundi. The temple. And the father. Okay. So we got the creator. For Pisces, that makes sense. Again, they're usually known as very artistic. There are a lot of Pisces idols out there. I will say it's one of the more common. I especially see it more in like a moon sign for a lot of the idols, but I do see it a lot as a sun sign as well. They're kind of people that actually have a lot of duality. They can look kind of like really intense, and then you find out that they're on the inside, they're actually a really big soft marshmallow. But yeah, so the fact that they are daydreamers, they tend to really flourish in a creative environment. I don't know if Kevin Moon is already known, if he already writes songs for the Boyz. If he's not, I would definitely look out for that. He's definitely working on stuff. Again, we have a paintbrush here, so he might also be into actual physical artistic medium, not just songs and that kind of thing. Maybe a painter or some kind of creator, a sculptor or something with his hands in that way. But yeah, I see just bright, vivid, creative expression. So that's something that we can definitely see heavily in his personality. And then we have Starborn. So this also really works well with his Piscean nature, that he's a dreamer. He's, you know, his head in the clouds. He's really like striving to achieve things much greater than himself. He doesn't see limitations, right? He just sees what he has to work harder to achieve. He views kind of that, the world in that way. You know, like it's this egg, and it's like, it's always just the beginning for him. It's like there's always another goal ahead. There's always something else he can do. There's never, like I said, he doesn't feel boxed in. Like I said, he's a creative, so he may be into, once he feels like he's mastered or gone as far as he can in one avenue, he may just pick up something completely different and continue on there. So yeah, the Starborn is just like also being pulled by destiny. Like he may not put a lot of thought into it beforehand. He just like, this interests me now, I'm feeling called to do this, and he just follows that innately. The river for me is always like about a deep emotional person, someone who's emotionally sensitive, who feels things. A lot of creatives, they're going to, a lot of Pisces especially are going to, so this really matches up with his sun sign. You know, but we see the horse here. It's like it's a river and it's deep, but he manages it. He can cross it. He doesn't let them control him, although he does feel things on a very deep level. You know, he really cares for others, looks for others. He may be a bit of a caretaker within his group. He's in his emotions a lot, and that's probably where a lot of his songs or his ideas come from, are really based in like how he feels at that time. He's probably very honest with his emotions. Even if he doesn't speak them, it's probably something you can see it on his face. He can't always hide it. So, but he does manage them. He's not going to let them stop him in any way. It doesn't let him like not forgive people. In fact, he's probably really prone to forgiving people because he wants to see the best in them. And then we have Anima Mundi, taking your dreams and manifesting. So he's very good. This is said to resonate with the World card in the tarot, and that's generally success. So again, he doesn't see limitations, so that also helps him create success. It helps him manifest because he doesn't tell himself no. He's just going to follow it through and see where it leads him. Again, he has this great sense of destiny that pulls him through. So he manifests quite a lot. Anything he can really put his mind to. I think that's why people probably find the Boyz so surprising when you do see them, because there's this huge big dreams, but we'll fight for them vibe about them, and Kevin definitely carries that. Like I said, I'm sure it runs through some of the other Boyz as well. Usually that's what happens, is you find a lot of like-minded, like similar spiritually leaning people, and that pushes the group, and that's why that whole group will have that kind of vibe. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's other water signs in this group. I haven't looked yet. I only looked up these two, but I'm sure I'll do an entire group reading on the Boyz, and when I do, we'll talk more about that. If I don't have it on my list, I'll probably add it, because now I just want to do it anyway. I'm not above adding stuff to my own request list because I want to do it. So I'm the boss. I get to do it. But yeah, so he's really good at manifesting things. He's really good at looking, talking to people, researching and figuring out, what do I have to do this? And he'll do it. Like, he'll get it. He's the guy that gets it done. So he seems super dependable. Again, we talked about this Starborn card about feeling destined. I think he is a deeply spiritual person. He may not be very vocal about it. I think he can be probably pretty quiet about it because it's an internal thing for him. He doesn't want to be that, like, I don't think he wants to carry that image. But I do think with the Temple card, he feels very connected with his spirituality. I think he gains a lot of strength from his spirituality. Again, I think he's the type of person that goes to church. I wouldn't be surprised if he's well known in the church circles. But yeah, I think that's a grounding place for him, is in his spirituality and his connection to the divine. And the people that he works with that are also connected. He probably gains strength. You know, you see all these outer lines, and they're all focusing in together, and I think he likes to have that kind of circle around him. He's probably very close-knit with his family as well. You know, that together, I see them as the type of people that are calling each other all the time, texting each other, constant communication, and I think this spiritual connection is a big part of that. So I see that. And then we have the Father. So he definitely feels like, again, we talked about some of this, like with the river, that he has a responsibility around people. He feels like he needs to take care of people. You know, and it is, you see the duality here. You see, and that's why I was almost holding this card this way, because it feels like the spiritual and the physical, right? But it's like, it's almost like, really, it's just two halves of this tree, you know. So it's interesting. It works. It looks like grass growing, but it's also two halves of a tree. So yeah, I definitely think he feels like he's a protector. He looks out for people. You know, like I said, part of this black and white makes me feel like he's just very non-judgmental towards others. Like, I feel like he's very open and welcoming. Whatever your situation, good or bad, is it your fault? It doesn't matter. I feel like Kevin is a person that just wants to help people in need. You know, we see both with the spiritual and the physical. So I wouldn't be surprised if he lends a lot of money out. He may need to be careful that he lends it to the right people. But I just see him being very, what is the word? Generous with his time, generous with his spiritual side, generous with his money and what he has. I always like say, like, the give the shirt off your back kind of person. That's really what I see for him, is that, you know, he talks the talk, but he also walks the walk when it comes to taking care of people. I mean, he just seems like he has this really big, robust, I can do anything, dreamer personality that comes out of him, at least today in this reading where he's at right now. You know, I'll do readings again. Things can completely change. People change, they grow. The energy, the feeling of who they want to be and who they want to show people changes as time changes. But I do think he's very deep rooted in his spirituality right now. He's really seeing his dreams come true, and he's expanding on those and learning about what he has to do to continue. I think we're seeing him in a big area of growth in his life right now. He's expanding his dreams. He's expanding as a person. He's expanding what he knows he's capable of. So that's what I see for Kevin. Go ahead and do Jacob now. I don't know. If Kevin isn't the leader, like the de facto leader of the group, he definitely feels like he's the caretaker person of the group. All right, let me get back on Jacob. I gotta make sure. I think I'm getting drifted. I'm getting distracted. Okay, Jacob. I try to picture their face in my mind from looking at, because usually I look up their images and their information before I do the reading. So I'm trying to picture Jacob in my head. Jacob. Okay. Well, this is why I bought my own deck and stopped borrowing my friends, though, because I was so scared I was going to bend her deck. I was like, please don't let me damage what someone else's property, because I can be a little rough with cards, I'm not going to lie. Like, they're a tool, and if I need to beat them up a little bit to get what I want, I will. But I don't like to do that when they're mine. Okay. Let's go, Jacob. Tell us about yourself, sir. So again, we had that Gemini energy, that introvert and extrovert, that curious nature, but also wordy, like likes to communicate, likes to talk. Sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad. As a fellow Gemini sun myself, I very familiar with that. Okay. Let me cut it one more time. The comic. I was thinking of that card. Castle. Okay. The Threshold. The Poet. Get these underneath. The Poet. Okay. Apocalypsis. In the Forest. Threshold in the Forest. That's an interesting combination. Okay. So the comic is an interesting card. People love and hate this artwork. I find it hilarious, but also so good. Like, it's this cat, but the cat's also a mask for someone behind it that's like looking in two directions. So I get this as someone who's really, really funny is kind of probably the mood maker, but they use humor as a diversion so they don't have to talk about how they feel. So I get it. He's a communicator, but he's not good with his emotions. He's not good about talking about his emotions. He doesn't want to talk about those. He wants to hide that from people, and he'll do it with humor. He'll do it with distraction. You know, he'll point it in all these other directions. He's probably loud, wild, likes to, like I said, a distraction. It's like he'll be loud and diverting attention to other things. That's usually what I get for the comic card. Like I said, I don't know anything about this. And like I said, if it's something we don't see in their persona, it's because they can be told by the company that, okay, well, you're the cool one, you're the chic one, you have that look, so you have to like be really laid back. And a lot of times that's not who they are. I don't know what kind of company the Boyz are under. And also, all my readings are for entertainment purposes only, so please just take it with a grain of salt. We got the Castle. This is about protection. But when I see it with the Poet and stuff, I feel like this is about protecting his almost like an artistic integrity is really what I feel like he's protecting. not just necessarily people around him. I feel like if he is releasing solo music ever, it's going to be highly manicured, very specific in a tone, in a thought. I think if he seems like a planner, like he really wants to have a specific concept or image in mind for that kind of thing, and even for his own like personal style, he may really lean on one specific fashion style that he feels really speaks the truth about who he is. Like his self-expression seems like very curated and very specific. That's kind of like what I'm getting here. You know, it's like the pearls and stuff. It feels very like personal expression, you know. And then the threshold. Okay, so this is about like not really liking change. This may be why he's so specific in some of his stuff, is he's kind of afraid to go out and try new things in a way. Like I said, he is Gemini nature, which is communication, and usually it's very curious, but he may have a lot of fear. There may have been something in his past that made him scared to embrace that side of himself. It could be about related to this comic. But there's like a fear, and it could be with the public. It could be feeling like what he likes isn't popular and it may not be well accepted by the public. I kind of get that. There's just, like I said, there's a threshold he's scared to cross. There's a line he's scared to cross. There's something he's scared to say, a way he's scared to be to certain people. So this kind of feels like he's very much himself to very specific people and not to others. For like, I don't know, it feels like there's a trauma in his past or someone very specific that told him, if you do this, there'll be repercussions, or there were repercussions at some point, and he's scared to do that now. Again, the poet, he does have a very artistic side. He seems like he's more of like a wordsmith. He may be more of a writer. He may be something where, like, again, he has a very specific view, and he may have an expression that he really feels needs to get out into the world, but he's not sure of how to do it. Again, you know, it's almost like a darker view. It may be that it's his viewpoint isn't so happy-go-lucky, and he's scared people won't like that. But it's also about like taking yourself and setting it free, letting it go out there. So I do think he will eventually release something or get to express himself in a way that shows that he is, but it'll be different. It'll be, I think, not what people are expecting from him. And like I said, he's very protective, and he's a little bit scared to do that. Scared to show himself in that way. And then we have apocalypsis, which I think is about searching for understanding. So again, he has fears that he'll be misunderstood. So I think he might wait a while before he can feel comfortable enough to again, show more of himself, make sure he won't be misunderstood. There's just a lot of fear of acceptance with him that I'm feeling. Like I said, I don't know if it's because Jacob is he foreign? Was he not raised in Korea? I feel like he possibly wasn't. I will double check. With a name like Jacob, it makes me kind of assume, you know, Kevin, Jacob. There's like a couple like really non-Korean sounding, you know, Eurocentric sounding names in there. So I'm assuming he probably is Australian or American or Canadian or something like that. But yeah, so I feel like there's a fear of being misunderstood. Like if he really is into stuff from other countries and he's scared Korea isn't ready for that yet, or there's aspects to his personality that are really like non-Korean, like don't follow like the cultural expectations. He's probably scared of being seen in that way, you know. Forest also, like, we're out in the forest with our little tent here. It's like you're kind of being exposed to the elements. You feel you're kind of at people's mercy. That you know, you're out in the wild fending for yourself. He could feel probably very alone. Yeah, again, I keep feeling like this fear of exposure, this fear of being himself, this fear that people won't accept him. So, like I said, he's like in this great expanse of danger and unknown, and he's in his little tent and he's scared to leave that tent. So I don't know. I don't know if he was mistreated when he first got into this industry and it's made him scared to show himself, or it's just something where he's seen it happen to other people and he doesn't want it to happen to him. But yeah, I feel like he feels very unaccepted by the general public. So he's guarding, he's very much guarding himself. All of these cards almost show like a fear of misunderstanding or portraying yourself in a different way as to not have to deal with consequences in some way. So that feels very much at the front of his personality right now. Sometimes, like you said, we're trying to dig deeper, but this is the energy he's putting forth. So again, please take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I think Jacob just needs to feel more accepted to grow. He needs to feel like he has more support from the general public to show who he truly is and feel accepted and feel more creative and allowed to do what he wants. So that's what I have for there. So now I'll do the friendship reading and see how that goes. So I'll go ahead and actually put these up now. But let me know what you think of the new personality readings. If you've watched my other ones and you've seen that they're a little different. Like I said, I wanted to include more zodiac stuff because I'm always talking about astrology and that kind of thing. It's just my personal interest. So let's see. Let's get my Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Puimanlaw. I hope I said that correctly. This is one of my oldest tarot decks and I love it. Literally would buy an art book of their stuff, of just all these cards in massive size. So, all right, so Kevin Moon and Jacob Bay friendship. I've been doing like a little bit longer format with the videos too, so please let me know if you like the longer videos, if you like the shorter videos. Actually, it's past present reading, so I don't want to take that right now. Let me know what you think of the longer format, if you like a shorter format, how that's going, because I'm trying to try some different things out, but just, you know, the longer the format, the less video I can record, and I think I was always just scared to not give you guys enough content. So, all right, we're going to do past, present, future spread here. The only reason I'm not reading jumpers right now because the spread's a little more specific. Past, present, future. Past, present, future. Okay. Wow, okay. Well, like I said, we had a Pisces, so this seems like very much about Kevin. All right, so we'll talk about the past is this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So felt like, I don't know if they're from a small company, it kind of feels that way. It feels like early on they felt super limited in opportunity. They're just also for each other, there wasn't this opportunity to really get close and like grow. It seems like just either they were working too much without much free time, or when they were together, if they were together at a younger age, it was all really focused on trying to plan for the future. So I don't think they were super close in the past. Seems like they had a lot of issues surrounding them both that were distracting them from being able to be really close friends. Knight of Pentacles too tells me the friendship has grown, obviously around this opportunity. It feels very kind of almost professional in a way, but also taking great care. So I do think they had to really look out for each other, but I think their friendship grows very slowly. You know, some people just spill their guts. Like I said, I don't think either one of them the type to like just, immediately become a friend and tell this person your life story, and next thing you know, you're besties. Like, I don't see that. But their friendship has grown slow and steady, which I honestly think makes for a longer lasting friendship anyway. So upright, this Knight of Pentacles is like, it is forward motion, it is communication, but it's professionalism. This is about their business. So I do think their friendship in the moment is still very professional. It is still very work-based, but it is growing slowly. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So this tells me in the future they will be very, very close. They will have a deep emotional understanding of the other person. So I think they're going to be friends for a very long time. Again, especially I think on Kevin's side, we'll see a lot of good feelings, because I believe this represents more of his side, being that Pisces energy. What is on my cards? Being that Pisces energy. So like I said, we're having a lot of room for growth, a lot of room for emotional depth in the future. So I'll go ahead. See how long this video's been. We're at 36 minutes. Okay. So, like I said, I always do a little reading. A lot of times I'll do a reading for each one. Since we've already done a personality reading and this reading's already like almost 40 minutes long, I'm just going to do one tarot reading to see kind of what their energies say together at the moment. Just for time's sake. Okay, that jumper I will take. Just see like kind of how they're doing right now, Kevin and Jacob together. Since we know they're kind of got their hands full with Kingdom. No more jumpers, I'll go ahead and just shuffle. Okay. All right, so I have a Page of Cups. This is about, like, again, a growing closeness. I think that they're getting along. You know, they are dealing with some stuff they're not sure how they feel about it. But as far as this, it looks like they're getting along. I have the Magician in reverse, though. So the Magician is about, like, manifesting, creating. I do think they're feeling kind of stuck, that they're not able to create. They may be feeling limitations in the situation they're in. Again, it could be Kingdom. It could be from their company that they're trying to work on projects and they're not being allowed to do that. Especially with these Hierophant and Emperor in reverse. That's very significant or reminiscent of like higher ups, gatekeeping, not allowing people to further their ideas right now. The structure kind of working against them. You know, and then Knight of Swords in reverse also is like a slowdown. Like I said, either it could be due to the plague that's been going on that's keeping, you know, them from doing some of the activities they want to do. But it does seem like they're at the mercy of some of the higher ups between television, their company, management, whatever. It's like they're kind of being told now is not the time for their ideas. So that may be why they're like kind of relying on each other. They're feeling they're not really knowing what to do with this situation. And they're just kind of hanging out, I guess, you know, confiding really in each other, that kind of thing. So let me see. Let's go ahead and pull a few more cards. Again, yeah, the Two of Cups with the Cups. It means like they're definitely confiding in each other. The world, like things aren't working out the way they want them to. Again, with with the Magician in reverse there, with the World in reverse. It's just like they're not being able to complete a task. Again, like I said, I was worried Mnet's kind of playing their games with them right now, and I kind of feel like this reading is still implying that. Again, the Star, it's like a lack of faith that things are working out the way you wanted them to. Eight of Pentacles, yeah. So they're just working through it. it feels like the position that they're in will release after a time. So this is time sensitive. Okay, sorry, there was a plane going by. But yeah, so it just tells me right now they're being met with some resistance about getting their ideas and what they want to do through, you know, with, if it's the program or if it's their group. Seems like they're being told, like, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. That's just kind of like the what I'm hearing in my head. And then this last two cards, though, tells me that they're just going to work through it. It's just a time-sensitive issue. Eventually, the restrictions will ease up on them. So, like I said, I don't know if it's just because of Kingdom, like they're being kind of told what concepts or what songs to pick or something like that. They may be being, like, micromanaged in that way right now, but it's temporary. So I think, like I said, I always feel like Mnet doesn't let any show happen that they're not in charge of exactly the way that it goes. And, you know, they got in trouble for doing it one way, so they may be being very vocal about doing it another way this time. So something like that. If not, it's just their company being like, now's not the right time to do something. You got to focus on this. Don't focus on anything else. It's very that energy. So it's one or the other. They're being micromanaged or stifled in some way, but it's just temporary. So like I said, maybe in the next couple months that'll ease up for them and they'll be able to be back to their happy creative selves. But right now, like I said, they're just kind of leaning on each other, getting through it, you know, venting and sharing their emotions. So as far as their friendship, I think they're very much venting about all of this. So, but don't worry, it'll ease up. Thanks again for your request. I hope you enjoyed it. It's ended up being a very long reading. So again, let me know if you like the format. As always, please take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Check out my Ko-fi if you want to leave me a tip or ask for a paid reading. And otherwise, I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye.